Okay. Is it audible now to everyone? Yeah. Let's continue. So here we have these operators, addition, exponentation and all. And we have increment and decrement once again. Right. Increment and decrement. This is called increment and decrement. In increment and decrement, we have two important options actually. So we have post increment and post decrement. So in this, we have two other options to understand. Post increment and pre increment. So these we will see in example, but we need to know. For example, x equal to 10. So y is equal to x plus plus. This is called post increment. Then what will be the value of x and y? Post increment, what will be the value of x and y? X is 10 and x plus plus means x equal to x plus 1. And you are assigning it to y. So what is the value of x and y? So in this, generally post increment means, post increment is a technique where actually it will assign and increments. It will assign and increments. That means first it will assign and then it increments. So that means in this case, what will happen? X value will be set to 10 plus 1. That is how much? 11. But actually it is equal to 11. X value is 11, but it will first assign x value to y. After that increment will happen. After that increment will happen. That means x value will be how much? In this case, x will be 11 and y will be 10. That is called post increment. Post increment means first it will assign, after assigning it will increment, right? Next, we have pre-increment. Pre-increment is nothing but, so x equal to 10 and y is equal to plus x. Here what will happen? So first it will increment, then it will assign. That means it will increment and assigns. In that case, what will be the value of x? X is equal to 10, x equal to 11 and y is also 11. Because first what it will do? It will perform the increment. So after that it will assign. Okay, that is what actually it will do. This is pre-increment. Decrement also same. Decrement, that means post decrement. Suppose x equal to 10 and y is equal to x minus minus. What will be the result? How much? X equal to 9 and y equal to 10. So pre-increment, pre decrement. In pre-decrement, what happens? X is 10 and y is equal to minus minus x. Then what will happen? It will be x equal to 9 and y also equal to 9, right? It will be like that is all. 1 second, I will take a 5-minute break, right? Okay, so that is increment and decrements. These are all in the arithmetic operators, right? How to work with them. We will implement in various examples. Let's see one example how to implement these operators. Yesterday we discussed, we will see one EMI calculator, how we can design an EMI calculator. I will just give you a simple basic formula implementation. Design you have to create because you already learned Bootstrap, CSS and all. So for that, as I told you, first we need EMI formula. That means in order to calculate EMI, we need an EMI formula, right? Let's see. Here we will design the EMI calculator, arithmetic operations, how to handle. So let's add a file that is EMI HTML. Okay. Now let's put here a design, and I will just put the title as EMI calculator. Okay, so here you can link style sheet, and href, node modules, bootstrap dist css, bootstrap.css. I'm just using bootstrap. So class container fluid. Okay. Here I will just design. So EMI calculator. And let's create a div. So class row. In this we have div class call, another div. So class call, and another div class call. 3 columns are there. Let's check the EMI calculator of any bank, HDFC. So this HDFC bank website have the personal loan EMI calculator. Let's see that. And here, okay, so what we are having at the top, I will just use a div. So, and I will keep the class as input group. And here we have a span amount you need. So, and we have a text box. Input type is equal to text. ID as txt amount. So this is having the class as input group text. Okay, and this is having just value, just box is enough. So this is amount you need. Okay, that is then for how many years and interest rate. So that is, and I will copy this. Here I will put, this is another group. So here amount you need, and for what is it? Yeah, this is txt years, and here we have another span class input group text, and for years. Okay, that is another option. Okay, next interest rate, another input group. Here we need interest rate, interest rate. So txt rate, and after that we have a span class as input group text, and here we give percent. Okay, this size I will give as some 4. Here also I will give size as 4. That is fine. Okay, now that is the design at the top. You see here we have that design available here, right? That is the text amount you need for how many years and interest rate. So here we can put years type as number. We can put number. Here also we can put number, and here I will keep as class as form control, and the same I am applying for all the 3, form control and form control. But years we have min is equal to 1, max is equal to 5. They can choose between 1 to 5. And interest rate, so we will give here min is equal to 13, and max is equal to 18. Step is equal to 0.1. That is the option we define. Now it looks like this. That is the design here. Now amount you need, how much? So for how many years we can put up to 5, and interest rate. So we can choose 13 to how much percent? 18% we can define. That is the option we have. Okay. Now actually these values they have designed using sliders actually. When we are moving the slider, that value will be displayed there. Value will be displayed. So here I don't need any value configurations. So I will do one thing here. Amount you need, how much? Yeah, amount you need. I will just keep this as so ampersand hash 8377 semicolon like this. So ampersand 77. Yeah, that is the option. And when user is using this below this row, okay, I have to add another row now, div. So this is another row, and margin top as 3. In this also we will have 3 columns. This is column 1, another div. This is the class column. So 2, another div, that is the class column 3. Okay, and in this, as per the design, I need a slider here. Slider. I'm just using the slider. That means here we have input type is equal to range. And we can use simple span, right? Here also I will use like this, a div. So this is class as input group, and we have a span class as input group text. And here starting with suppose 50,000. So ampersand hash 8377. So this is 50,000. Like this we define. And similarly, we have like 50 lakhs, or so say 10 lakhs. Like this we have. And here we defined input type is equal to range, and the class is equal to form range. So min is equal to 50,000, and max is equal to 10 lakh, like this. Okay, that is the option, and I'm just giving here step is 1,000 step we can define. Okay, that is option defined for this. Fine. Now what should happen? The same, the slider is here. So minimum, maximum, how to configure? Actually, this form range is going to display in a new line, right? It is going to display. Width is not enough for that. That is the reason what you do is you put the titles left one, right one. Another row you create, you put left and right alignments. I'm just keeping this minimum how much, maximum how much here. Another option is we need to define another input group, right? So what is that input group? Copy. So for this range, I have to give an ID. ID is, so this is range for amount, range amount. Okay, next one, Here I will give minimum how many years. Minimum years is 1 and maximum years is how much? 5. So we can put 1 and 5. And for that we will give a slider here. So minimum 1 and maximum 5. And here the slider I will change, and I will keep an ID as range, that is year. Range year, that is 1 to 5. Right, you can select the range from 1 to 5. Right. Now here another option, I will copy this one. Yeah, I will paste one more is interest rate 13 and maximum how much? 80. And I will give range rate. Okay. And here I will define minimum is 13, maximum is 18, and step is how much? 0.1. That is another option defined here. Now when user is selecting, here, suppose I want to define these values, right? I will put here 3 range options are there. So value is 50,000. And here the value is 1. And here the value is 13. That means they are the starting values. And we will just put a button below. I'll just put a button calculate. So here on click. So calculate, click. So class BTN and BTN primary. So that is the button. And this I will keep in a div. So margin top 3, and let's add the button here. Right. Now when I click on this calculate, that amount must be displayed here. How much payment they have to make. First option, when user is moving this slider, that value must display in this text box. For that, what we have to do, for every range input, where is that? Yeah, for every range input, you have to write on change. On change is amount change. Okay. Next, on change. On change is year change. On change. On change is rate change. Rate change. Okay. So we have to write the functions now. So let's put a script, and we have a function. So amount change. On amount change, document get element by ID, txt amount dot value is equal to document dot get element by ID. So range amount dot value. That is simple. That means whatever range value is there, it will be applied to the text box. That means when I am sliding here, it will display there. When you are sliding, it will display there. So when you are sliding that, it will get that, and it will display the value here. Right? That is defined by using this. Similarly, when I am sliding this, it should display there. Same option we have to do. This is for what? Year change. On year change, txt year dot value, range year dot value, range year dot value. So that means here you are changing amount, here you are changing the interest rate. Range year, what we given the ID. ID is range. range year only na. Txt year, what is the text box id we given? Text box id we given as txt years, txt years dot value. Okay, we are changing the amount, we are changing the years. Now interest rate also same thing, copy, and this time it is rate change. On rate change we have to set txt rate dot value. So range rate dot value, range rate dot value, this we have to define. Now this amount you are selecting, a periods you are selecting, interest rate you are choosing, this is the option. Now when I click on calculate, that must be displayed, right? That is only the work we need to do, right? Then how we can manage, right? Actually this means if you want in a simple way, use inside the column again rows and columns, that will be easy for you, huh? Actually if it looks uneven, what you do here also you put as row. Okay, then what you can do, you can keep these three in three columns, huh? Div, this is what class column, and this is so class column. Design you do, right? Design you can create in your own style how you want. Yeah, div class as column, so that will be better, right? Just I'm giving that appearance so that it will be in same, right? User can choose the slider and you can display in columns, right? So in that case we don't need any input group text like options to define, but better use it. I don't need input group text, it will just display the value, right? So it will just display the amount, but I will just put it here, just to show it in a separate way. We will put that. The same thing you do for others also. So you keep this as a row and keep these all three in a column. So that is div, this is another div, and this is in another div. So the class is called same I use for all of them. Okay, here also same row, and add into div, add these three into div. So into div, so and we have class as call. Okay, this is just to keep all these side by side, and remove this, fine. Yeah, now that is the appearance we are having. Oh, what happened to this one? Acha, div, this one should be inside, fine. Here also na, right? Okay, these are the options we are defining. Now user can select the amount, user can select the interest rate, user can select the years, and after that he will click on calculate. Then that calculate should display how much they have to pay every month, EMI. For that already I told you we need formula, EMI formulas. So you can Google, because business requirements depends on complete formulas. So mathematically, even but their formula implementation may be different. The business requirements will give you all the formulas. They will say that for this is the formula you have to use. That formula we have to implement. That means we will Google for EMI formula, right? EMI formula. And you can see this is the EMI formulas. These are EMI formula. This is the EMI formula, right? So that means here in this EMI formula, actually, don't try these formulas which have some exponents and all, because the same thing can be achieved in several ways. So use a formula which is cleanly separated, that will be better for you. That means these type of formulas are good for us because they are cleanly separated. I will give one simple formula. Already we have a formula. I will open. I will copy that formula here. I have some JavaScript example, EMI. Yeah, this is the EMI formula actually. You can configure this EMI formula. You can implement this formula. I will copy that. Okay, so this is the EMI formula. We don't need all this. Actually, what you have to do is, in a clear way, I will put P is nothing but amount. Okay, and R is so interest rate. So interest rate. So divided by 100 by 12. You have to use that because interest rate per year, right? We have to calculate. And here we have n. N is equal to number of years, periods. Periods actually is nothing but years into how many? 12, right? That means 2 into 12, 24. That means we have to calculate for every month installments. That means 3 years means 2 years means 24 months. Every month, how much? That means what we have to do is number of periods into 12. We have to access the years into 12. So now we need to implement the formula. This is the formula we have to implement. That means EMI is equal to, this is the formula you have to implement. This all business people will give to you. This is the EMI formula. Understood? This is the EMI formula. This we have to implement. This we have to implement. How? We will see that. On calculate click, we have to do this. So, and I will display that. I will display that in a div here. Okay. So I will put a heading. So ID is equal to result. Okay. There. So class is equal to text center. I will put BG, suppose some info. Yeah. So, and text white like this, I will define, and padding 2. So this I will add there. It's an empty heading place is there. And margin 4, margin top 4, I am adding. That's the height. Yeah. Here I want to display that amount, total amount, how much. Just I will put BG danger. Okay, fine. Just so that you can see it clear. Fine. Info only I will give. Okay, Okay, now what should happen is when calculate click, we have to implement that formula. So let's write the function. All right, so we have to write the function calculate click. On calculate click, first we have to collect the amount. According to this formula, we need principal amount. That means P is equal to document dot get element by ID txt amount dot value, but it is a text. You have to convert into number. That means we have to use parse int, parse int, and that value, convert that value. Next, we need another one, rate. So that is R, right? Rate is equal to, so we have to get rate is in decimal. Then we have to use parse float. Document get element by ID txt rate dot value. After that, it should be divided by 100, right? Slash divided by 12. So that is the interest rate calculation. And where n is equal to, that is periods. So parse int, and document get element by ID txt years dot value, txt years dot value, and into 12. That means if I select 2 years, 2 into 12, 24 months, like, okay. Now where EMI, so we have to implement that formula. So I have to implement this formula, copy this, and we have P, and that formula is configured. This is the formula we are defining. Math.pow, already I told you what is that. It finds the power of the given value. We can use that, and we can do, I told you so many formulas will be there, you can use any, right? You have to search and get the correct formula. So that depends on business requirement. Now this EMI must display document get element by ID. What is it? Result dot inner HTML. So that means here I will put, so the payment EMI amount. So how much? That is the value. EMI amount, how much? We have to get that EMI and display. We have to get that EMI and display. So here I will use ampersand hash 8377 semicolon. Okay. That is the EMI amount. We are collecting the EMI amount and displaying. That means now you see here, I will select amount as some 2 lakh, 3 lakhs. Okay. You can even type if you want. So you can even type you want 3,15,000 is the amount, and the number of periods is 3 years. 3 years, 3 lakhs, and interest rate is some 14. And I click on calculate. It should get that and display. What is error? Let's check in the console. Some error is cannot read null. For which one? Some txt range, txt range spelling. Yeah, fine. Okay, let's close. Right, amount is some 3 lakhs. Okay, some I will just write here. We can use amount like this because step value is there, na? Right? And we can define interest rate. So how much? Yeah, and calculate. Still some other issue is there. txt range value is coming, txt amount value is coming, txt years value is coming, txt range txt rate, it's not range, rate, txt rate dot value, it's not range dot value, right? So we have amount, okay, some 4 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 40, okay, and calculate the interest rate, calculate, it should get the amount, but it is showing a lengthy value, right? We can simply, what we can do is, if it is showing that lengthy value, before printing that value, what we can do is we can use math dot round, round to the nearest. So we can just round the value and display here. So we selected loan amount and we selected number of years, interest rate, and click on calculate. It will display how much EMI amount they have to pay. It will display. So we are changing the tenure, then it will change the amount, right? If interest rate is increasing, then amount will be increasing, right? Amount is decreasing, then payment is decreasing. Interest decreasing, depending on that, it will be decreasing. If number of periods decreasing, then again it will increase. That depends on all the values how you configure. These type of calculations and all require mathematical functions, right? You don't need not mathematics knowledge, you just need the formula for implementation. Now what is the responsibility is implement that formula by collecting the values from your elements. That is the work you have to do. This is example for that EMI calculator, right? This is one simple example of EMI calculator. Now I will give you one task. You try to design. So design BMI calculator. You try to design BMI calculator. BMI calculators are very common in all health websites. So gym and hospital websites, BMI calculators are common. So you see BMI calculator, right? These are BMI calculators. So where is it? Yeah, we'll take a better one. A little bit, anything looks like good. Yeah. So this type of BMI calculator, you can try this here. Here you can see, here this is the BMI calculator. Here you see age. You have to write the age. So when you write the age, suppose age is 28, some age, gender male or female, and how much height in centimeters, how much weight, right? And you click on calculate, then it will calculate the BMI and display. Actually this animation, you don't need to try this, just you have to get the value. That means here the value healthy BMI range, and that is 18.75, and how much it is healthy, and it should display. Now, for example, suppose I given here weight as suppose 80 I given. I click on calculate. When I click on calculate, so here it is saying normal. Suppose I given here as, so suppose 100 and calculate, and you can see it says overweight, obsess. That means this message also should display. This message also should display. Is it overweight? Is it normal? Is it obesity? These details also should come. Is it underweight? Don't show, don't try this animation. Just display that message. That means if value is between this and this range, that means if the value is between how much? So if it is between 16 to 20, between 16 to 18, then it is underweight. If it is 18 to 25, it is normal. If it is 25 to 30, that is overweight. So you have to display these kind of options. I just want some details. That means like this, the details should come, right? For that, you have to try the formulas. That means you can search for the formula, and based on the formula, you can implement this. So many BMI calculators will be there. So many BMI calculators will be there. You have to implement on that. That means you can go and you can search for BMI calculator. You can see the designs and create a, and you can see here the criteria they will give, all the BMI related criteria they will give. You can see this is a widget. Widget is iframe. In an iframe already they are giving this BMI, right? So you have to configure that and you have to use it, right? This is what technically you do. You have to try this and submit this example BMI. Then we will see other operators. What are assignment and other operators? That we'll see in next session. Tomorrow we'll do that, right? Today we have less people here, so tomorrow we'll continue with that. Tomorrow we will see. In the next session we will discuss about other operators. Right.